On December 17, 1861, a Confederate force of 1,350 men descended on Rollitt Station near the tiny town of Mudfordville, Kentucky. Standing in their way was a detachment of 500 men from the Union's 32nd Indiana Infantry Regiment, led by Lieutenant Colonel Henry von Trebra. Greatly outnumbered, they miraculously stood their ground against the attacking forces. Their victory ensured the continued movement of Union troops and supplies along the Louisville and Nashville Railroad line. But more than a dozen Union soldiers were killed during the battle. One of the survivors, Private August Bludner, spent the next 6 weeks, while still in the field during the brutal winter of 1862, hand-carving this monument in their honor.
He was not a sculptor who was paid a huge commission to build this amazing thing. He was some guy who served in the regiment and was very much moved by the death of his friends.
This is the nation's oldest known Civil War monument.
So that's why there was so much focus put on it. That's why there's been so much interest in this particular monument.
Bludner inscribed the monument in German because his regiment was composed entirely of German immigrants, men who came to the U.S. following the revolutions of 1848 in Germany.
And they're immediately taking up the cause and saying, wow, this is it all over again. We're going to fight for this again, and this time, instead of having to leave, we're going to win and make this work because we're in a new country.
But the soft limestone Bludner carved was no match for time and the elements.
Over the course of 140 years, it started to weather heavily.
So 3 years ago, VA's National Cemetery Administration relocated the 32nd Indiana Infantry Monument to have it conserved.
Parts of the front of the monument started to flake off, and it was in quite poor shape.
The loss of the stone could not be reversed, but NCA did not want to have any further inscription and all it symbolized just wear away. For the first time, NCA commissioned a replacement monument.
It's a unique piece of artistic expression that's one man's vision.
For this challenging task, NCA chose the same team that inscribed the text on the Martin Luther King and the World War II memorials, the John Stevens Shop, headed by master stone carver Nick Benson.
The colonial carvers designed their own lettering and their own ornamental work. They made absolutely beautiful, unified pieces of design.
Both Benson and the NCA agreed that fidelity to the character of the original monument was paramount. That meant producing it by hand using a mallet and chisel, just as Bludner had done nearly a century and a half earlier.
Bludner designed all of this inscriptional work himself, and so what I did is I took a brush and I brushed out all of this calligraphic form by hand, and so I got a lot of the sensitivity that he was able to get in this hand-drawn letter form. The Bludner is my interpreting what the original stone, the lettering on that stone was, and how to sort of evoke as much of that incredible character that he got out of carving the original piece.
6 months and thousands of chisel clicks later, the new 32nd Indiana Infantry Monument was finally complete.
There you see it in all of its glory.
In September 2011, the die and base, weighing 2 tons, were installed in the original monument's place at Cave Hill National Cemetery.
Line up your side, Josh.
A faithful successor with one slight improvement.
On the back of the new monument, there is a carved translation in English, so visitors today can come and read about the soldiers who fell in the battle.
On December 16, 2011, the new 32nd Indiana Infantry Monument was dedicated. This event included VA Undersecretary for Memorial Affairs Steve L. Murrell, state officials, a representative of the Republic of Germany, descendants of German-American Civil War troops, taps, and a rifle salute by Civil War-era reenactors.